Hello, guys, and welcome to Jack in the Middle and another episode of Racing Rivals. Now, quickly, I just want to remind you guys again, the purpose of my channel is for buying, selling, and trading, and to introduce you to my Facebook group, Racing Rivals Middleman. So, guys, look through my garage if you want to. If you see something you like, it's probably for sale. I am not trying to be too attached to anything. If it wasn't an original campaign car, I am willing to let it go. I am only attached to my original campaign cars. Those are the only cars I will always hold on to. Everything else that I buy in the showroom and that I use, I will be willing to let go as long as I don't need it. If I have a extra or something like that. I'm selling D-class cars for cheap, C-class cars for cheap, and anything else I have duplicates of, that I win. I pretty much are selling them for cheap because I could what you call it, basically when you if you try to sell a car to the game, I would only get $22,000 for this car, so I'd rather sell it to you for about $40,000 than sell it to the game for 22. All right. Of course, with having a little bit of upgrades on there and whatnot, it's probably not going to go for 40,000 or for 40K. But you get my point. I'd rather give you a good deal and get a little bit more for it. If you need a car, than to sell it to the game. So I'll hold on to them instead of selling them to the game. I'm not that pressed for cash. I do money farming every day for cash. And I'm a patient guy. Alright, so anyway, so this video is going to be on campaign car reviews. So let's get into campaign car reviews. Let's get into the showroom. We're gonna do it alphabetically according to according to how they show up in the showroom, and not according to the actual class, from D class, C class, and so on. So first car on the list, we're gonna go ahead and look at the Acura NSX. No, the Acura NSX is an A-class car. First disclaimer about campaign cars. Don't worry about what you're getting. If you like the car, go ahead and get your car. You're the one that has to live with it. Go ahead and get the car you like. I'm doing this review basically for people who don't really care about the car that they're in. They just want to be in the fastest car possible. So hopefully you'll get that information from me through the course of this video. We have 17 cars to review. There's 17 possible campaign cars to choose from. So the video might take a little while. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible, and so just bear with me. Here we're looking at the NSX. You see the rating in the corner, 1617. The rating's in the corner, and this car is quite a dandy. It's gonna tune up to be one of the fastest A-class campaign cars. This car, also with the 09 Challenger RT, the newer Challenger SRT8, would be they both tune up to the same number and would be the faster of the three possible A-class campaign cars that you get to choose from. This would be one of the faster ones at max tune. Okay. Moving down the line, we're gonna go over to Dodge. Dodge offers quite a few campaign cars, and I believe the most campaign cars of between Dodge and SRT. They offer the most campaign cars in the game. First up is the Charger in C class. This is going to be the boss for the campaign cars in C class. You're going to at max rating, this car will most likely beat all the other cars in C class. I believe they all tune up actually, with exception for the FRS. I think that the FRS can tune up to 1651, but for the most part, most of the tunes I've seen and most of the tunes I've gotten are I've done myself come up to about 1650 in the FRS. So the FRS ends up being the slowest of the C-Class campaign cars, I believe, followed by the RX-8, followed by this car here, the Dodge Charger. at being the fastest car. Now the Charger and the RX-8 both tune up to 1651, and the RX-8 will give this car a run for its money every single time if you know how to drive it. The RX-8 is just a little bit harder to drive, a little bit less forgiving as far as making mistakes. You got to get your perfect shifts, and you got to run every gear to that red line to get the most out of the car if you want to beat this car at max tune in a Pinks race or for money. Next up is the SRT4, otherwise known as the Dodge Neon. This is going to be a B-class car, and I believe this will be the slowest of the B-class car at max tune. But if you love it, go ahead and get it. It's a beautiful car to look at. It customizes quite nicely. They have quite a few body kits for it, and gel parts and stuff like that. So this is a nice car to customize. It will look good customized. So if you're for aesthetics, you could go ahead and get this car, and learn to drive it. You won't be disappointed. It will perform for you. Next up is the 1970 Challenger. This car will be the slowest of the A-class cars at max tune, but it will be the fastest and baddest anywhere else. From start, anywhere in between, from off the showroom to a turf tune, this is going to be the car to go with for A-class. If you don't plan to go to max, at max rating, it's still going to hold its own, but it will be a point slower than the other two cars, and you're going to see that difference in a max race. That 1 point will show itself in a max race, as far as taking your money and taking your car. Okay, but anywhere else, this car is a car to have. Watch out for the second gear. The second gear is like invisible. It is so fast. All right. One of my favorite cars in the game. I have most of any other car. I go for these cars the most. When I see people trying to pink these cars, I am down for it. I am down to take your car if you're trying to pink this car. I love this car. Next up is another A-class right beside it, the 09 Challenger that I was telling you about. This car is a badass all around. It's just hard to launch. It's a hard to launch because it has such its perfect launch zone is so low. So it's hard to feather it. It's hard to drop it. It's a hard car to launch. However, it's very quick. It's probably the most forgiving of all the A-class cars as far as making a mistake and still getting a very good time and very good run. This car is a good car to go with. You won't, it will turn good times for you all the time. And when you tune it to max, it will be one of the faster campaign cars. It will compete with the NSX. It will definitely beat the 70 Challenger at max rating. But other than that, during the turf wars, lower ratings, the 70 Challenger will hold its own with anybody. So this car here, if you like it, go ahead and jump on it, and you won't be disappointed. Customization, not much customization. Oh, the NSX has great customization. It's great for customizing. Lots of gel parts, lots of body parts to choose from. This car here doesn't offer you any customization whatsoever. No body parts for it, no gel parts for this car. The most you'll be able to do is add a spoiler on the back of it here, and to lighten the weight a little bit. And you could add, you could lower the car a little bit, but there's no ground effects. There's no gel hood, no gel bumpers, and but you have I think, and it's actually only one spoiler to choose from. We move on. The next campaign car offered by Dodge is the Dart Rally. This is going to be the fastest D-class car at maximum. At maximum tilt, this car is going to be the fastest car at maximum. So if you like this car, you could go ahead and get this car. This car does have is customizable, has ground effects, and it has gel parts for the hood and bumper, and I think there's only one spoiler to choose from. with this car. Quickly to just go back real quick, the NSX is comes naturally aspired, meaning no turbo, no supercharger, only engine. So for the Charger, same thing for the Charger. The SRT4 comes with a turbo. The Challenger is both Challengers, as a matter of fact, are naturally aspirated, and so is the Dodge. Also is the Dodge Dart Rally. It's also naturally aspirated. So as far as all the cars we've reviewed so far, the only one that comes with a turbo stock will be the Dodge Dart SRT, which is going to be great for you for money farming. If you remember watching if you did watch my money farming video, it's going to be one of the first cars to go for money farming. It will help you with money farming, meaning you could reverse back to zero damage and still have a little bit of power to play with. Up next, we're going to have is it the Hyundai? No Hyundais. The Honda. Up next, we're in Honda. Honda Civic Si. This car here, if you like it, go ahead and jump on it. This car does have some offer ground effects, does offer gel parts, and does offer quite a few spoiler options. It is also naturally aspirated. It is going to be the slowest of all the D-Class car in I'm gonna say everywhere, but honestly, it will hold its own against the Dart. We're gonna get to the VW Jetta in a minute. The VW Jetta comes with a turbo, and that car, if you're looking for a car, in between max to tune, it's like the 1970 Challenger. It's going to be the best D-Class car you could have for a turf tune. If you're going to tune it in between, somewhere in between, low the stock and the max rating, it will outperform any other D-Class, and it will take down a few C-Class and B-Class car. I lost a B-Class car to a Jetta in turf before. They are that good in turf. They are monsters in between before you get to max tune. Now, so again, the Civic Si is naturally aspirated. It's probably going to be the slower of all the D-Class car, but again, if you're going to have the most fun with this car as far as people to race against. This car is very, very, very popular, probably the most popular car in the game, and it's so you will never be bored. You will always have somebody to race with this car. It's so if you like this car, go ahead and get it if this is the car you like. It's not going to be the fastest D-Class car, but you will never be bored with it. Going to have plenty of competition. Again, so let's move down the line and see where we are. Next up will be Mazda. Mazda offers two campaign cars, the RX-8 and the RX-7 GT spec. So we start with the RX-8. The RX-8 is a C-Class car. I told you a little bit about before. This car is also naturally aspirated, no turbo, no supercharger stock. But it's very unforgiving, but it's beautiful. A beautiful car. It has beautiful ground effects that come with it, and few spoiler options and a few gem options, I believe, also available for this car. So it's going to tune to be one of the max C-Class cars. It will hold its own against the Charger. I believe the Charger is a little bit better car if you're concerned about fastest car for C-Class. So fastest car for D-Class will be the Dodge Dart, which we covered already. Fastest car for C-Class will be the Charger, the Dodge Charger. This car is a beautiful car though. If you like it, go ahead and get it. You learn to drive it, and you could hold your own also. Up next is the RX-7 GT spec. This is going to be the first R-Class car that we're seeing so far, and this car here comes with a turbo, I want to say. Yes, it comes with a turbo, and it comes with a turbo, and it now, as far as max rating, I believe all the R class cars get to the same rating at the end, and and when R class cars, when you start playing with R class car, you'll notice it. The more you go up the line, you'll notice when you get to R class cars, it's a complete different ball game. The shifts are so much quicker, the speed is so much faster. So the competition ends up being about who knows their car better. If you're able to launch your car, if you're able to shift your car, and just stay calm while you're driving, any R class car will do the job for you. Okay, so this is going to be one of your first R class cars. It tunes up to maximum, I believe, about 1676, and I believe all the R class cars from campaign tune up to, no, actually 1678. All the R class cars from campaign tune up to about 1678, I believe. So you're not going to really have an advantage with either car in the in the R class. As far as R class being easy to drive, this will be the second easy to drive. The easiest to drive would be the SRT Viper GTS R. As far as being easier to drive, it's not necessarily faster, but just easier to drive. Being if you're scared of R class and and the speed that it's going to deliver. The SRT GTS is a little bit more user friendly. Okay, up next is going to be the McLaren. The McLaren MP412C is a S-Class car. I believe this is going to be the first S-Class car that we're looking at right now. And actually, you only have, for S-Class, there is only 2 cars to choose from. It's going to be this one, and it's going to be the SRT Viper GTS, not the R spec, just their normal GTS. We'll get to that. This is a beautiful car, very quick car. It is kind of tricky to drive. The sweet spot, meaning the perfect launch, is pretty hard. Is pretty hard to get, but if you practice it, it will get the job done. It's I honestly want to say it's I want to say it will beat the Viper. I would say 7 times out of 10, but in the hands of a good driver. You have to know how to drive it. The Viper is easier to drive, and for that reason, it's more forgiving. So people tend to win with the Viper a little bit more because it's easier to drive, more user friendly. But this car, I believe, actually is going to turn out it's going to end up being just a tad bit faster. They tune up to the same rating, which is 1670 in S-Class. For both of them, they're equal as far as that is concerned, and so that's why you're going to always have close races. But if you know what you're doing, I believe the MP4 will turn out a little bit faster time for you. It's just tricky to handle. So you just have to just practice. Up next, we're going to have the Mitsubishi. The Mitsubishi Evo 8 is going to be the actual fastest B-Class car in the entire game. It's a campaign car, and it's the fastest B-Class car. Don't ask me how, but it's true. It's the only B-Class car that tunes up to 1662. The other B-Class cars, I believe, tune up to 1658 and about 1659, around that area. As a matter of fact, I think the STI, the WRX Subaru we're going to get to, tunes up to about 1659, and I believe the SRT4, which we already reviewed, tunes up to 1658, if I'm not mistaken, making it the slowest. But this car also was in my money farming video. It's a nice car. It's one of the preferred cars for people who love to race, love to pink. This car here. This car comes with a turbo already built in, and it's a late bloomer, meaning it's gonna launch. It can launch hard, but for the most part, compared to the rest of the cars you're gonna launch against, it's gonna come out the gate slow, but eventually it's gonna pick up so much speed you will catch your opponent before the end of the race. And at max tune, this car actually runs right to its rev limiter before you get to the finish line. Which can be a little bit scary, but it is the fastest B class car. And comes with a turbo. Let's move on. Next up, we have the Scion. Now the Scion offers two cars for the campaign. This car used to actually be a campaign car, and they changed that in recent times. So it's no longer a campaign car. However, so let's talk about campaign cars. Let's not get sidetracked. Campaign car, C-Class, FRS. This car, as I said, I believe is going to be the slower of the C-Class cars at max rating, but it's a very fun car to drive. So if you like it, there's the ground effect kit for the car. That's the one drawback about this car. I don't like the one ground effect kit that they have for it, and it's only one front bumper, one rear bumper, but you have like 3 side skirts to choose from in this car, and 3 spoilers to choose from. And I do believe it offers a gem hood and a gem bumper, a gem trunk, for customization. So it doesn't offer very many options for customization, but it offers some. And but it is a fun car to drive. If you like this car, like I said, don't be afraid to get the car you want to get. I'm just trying to help you decide and do a little review for you as far as what's going on. So it comes naturally aspired, no turbo, no supercharger, and this is one of your options for C-Class car. As I said, at max rating, I believe this is going to turn out to be the slowest of the 3 options you have. The Charger being number 1, with the RX-8 close behind, and then you have this here trailing. Next, I have seen drivers beat RX-8s and Chargers in this car. So so if you have the balls, man, go ahead and go for a pink. All right. If you love it, it is fun to drive. If you have confidence in it, drive the heck out of it. The next car is the FRS R spec, which is going to be a R class car, and as I mentioned previously, any R class car is going to get you there. They are ridiculous fast shift speeds, and ridiculous performers. So they will all tune up to about 1678. They're all going to get the job done for you. They all turn out to end up being about 7-second cars. They all will make it to 7 seconds. If you get your shift right. Now it's a hard thing to get it into 7 seconds, but they all will make it to 7 seconds as far as the R class cars are concerned. I think it comes with a turbo, if I'm not mistaken, already built in, and yeah, it's a beautiful car. I haven't had one of these cars since I've been back in the game, so I'm not sure about the ground effects, what kind of ground effects it comes with. I believe that when I first played the game the first time, this was the car I chose. Now I am rocking the RX-7 GT spec for my R class car, I think I chose the RX-7 this time around because it's as far as the in between before you get to max, it performs very well. It's easy to launch. The easiest is going to be the GTS R to launch, but I went with the RX-7. I thought it would be a little bit quicker in the interim, in the in between stages. But anyways, whichever car you like, you jump on the car you like. And as far when it comes to R class, it doesn't really make a difference. There, you just learn to drive your car, and your car will perform for you. All right. Up next from the Scion, we are going to have SRT. and we only have about 3 more manufacturers to go before before we wrap it up. Um, in the SRT, we have the Viper GTS, which is a S-Class campaign car. It's going to be the easiest to drive, the most forgiving. Um, but you want to learn to drive your car, because when it comes to betting money and pinking, you need to know to drive your car. You have to drive your car properly. All right. So but other than that, everything in between, this car is a great performer. As I said, it gets up to 1670. This car is naturally aspired, so no turbo like no built-in turbo like the MP412C, and no turbo, no supercharger, and it's a great car. It's a great car to own. The car I chose for campaign. Very forgiving, very fast, and you won't be disappointed. The car does not offer any ground effects. As far as S-Class is concerned, the MP412C is the only S-Class car that offers ground effects and gel kits. Actually, this car does offer one the hood. The hood of the hood of the car is you're able to gel it. Put a gel hood on there. It's a little bit expensive, but for S-Class, all the gel parts are going to be expensive when you get to S-Class. You're not going to be able to get away from that. So for if you're the MP4C, you're not going to get away from it. It is going to be expensive to gel it. I believe all the ground effect kit, the ground effect kit for the MP412C is gel, is gemmed. So it is going to be quite expensive. It ends up to fully gem the car, it end up being about 120, 130, 140 gems total to put the spoiler, the hood, and the ground effect kit on the car, before anything else. All right, so bear that in mind. The Dodge Viper SRT GTS has no ground effects additional. Same thing for the Viper GTS R. No ground effects no ground effects for it, but it's a very forgiving car. I love this car. I've had one, and it's a very fast car. When you start the upgrades, it changes. The characteristic of the car really changes, and that's why I say our class is going to be it's the last class of the campaign. They are higher cars, but as far as the campaign is concerned, it's the last class of the campaign. And when you start upgrading these cars, you see how every upgrade changes the characteristic of the car. How the car, it changes where the perfect launch is. It changes shift points. They're finicky like that. They react to every upgrade that you put on these cars. Given that they're lightweight and high-powered cars, high-powered vehicles. This car, I believe, I want to say it comes with a turbo. I don't quite remember. I don't have it anymore. I don't quite remember if it comes with a turbo or not, straight out the showroom. All right. So you're gonna have this car, the RX-7, and the Scion FRS R spec to choose from as far as R class, and you won't be disappointed with any of them. All of them tuned to the same number, 1678, and they all compete very well with each other. It all comes down to the driver. All right, so don't be afraid to choose the car you love. Up next will be the Subaru. Subaru offers one car, the 2011 Impreza RRX STI, 4B class. It tunes up to about 1658. I want to say it comes with a turbo. I believe it does. I believe it does come with a turbo, and this is the car I chose. It does have some beautiful ground effect kit. It does offer you some options for spoilers, and also a few gel parts for this car. A beautiful car to work with. This is the car I chose for myself personally. maybe for just nostalgic reasons. As I said, pick a car you like, you won't be disappointed. The cars will perform just once you know how to drive your car. All the cars will perform once you practice your car, right? And choose your opponents wisely. All right. So lastly, we're going to have the Jetta GLI. And quite appropriately, we got to this car last because this car is middle of the road when it comes to D-Class campaign, but you can't tell this car this. This car doesn't know that it's not the fastest D-Class car. This car performs like it's always on steroids. As I mentioned earlier, it comes with a turbo, and anywhere from stock right up to max rating, this car will beat any other car. If this car catches any other D-Class car with the same rating, it's going to blow it out the water. If this car catches any other D-Class car, as a matter of fact, if it catches any D-Class car, any C-Class car with the same rating, this car will blow it out the water. It is a Dr. Jekyll Hyde. It is a madman. This is the first car I believe that you could ghost shift, meaning that the lowest car, meaning a D-Class car, that you could do this thing that they call ghost shift, which is supposed to be the new craze. It's supposed to get you new faster times, and I am still not up on it right now. It happens to me accidentally every now and then. I'll hit a ghost shift, but I am not a ghost shift expert. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the video on this note. Oh, also, this car offers quite a few ground effect kits, offers some gem parts, and offers quite a few spoilers. So it will also look when you're done designing it. All right. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. To Jack in the Middle. This is your host, Jackal. And thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you're new for updates. All right. Once again, thank you.